Foley recording, or we spent a day recording guns on the Warner lot. It's a real honour, and we just go and just envious and steal what we can. You know, any idea from these guys that have done it for years and years and years?
What were some of the more surprising or unique effects that you can tell us about that you've created audio-wise?
Well, I guess certainly the one we spent longest on, sound design-wise, is we call it internally the Woooo, which is when you dive off a building. Officially, it's called the Cape Glider Open. As soon as your cape opens for you to glide, it's a huge Woooo. So that's what we call it.
Let's all together. Woooo.
It sounds a bit better than that. Yeah, we spent ages on that because it's such a kind of iconic sound, and that's, you know, visually it's obviously really iconic, as Kevin was saying before. It's just so important that it sounded great, and that we didn't overdo it, and then it more intense if you were chonking off the top of a really high building. Because if you were chonk off a chair, you probably don't.
I think this is the new planking, ladies and gentlemen. So the thing is, like, how do you? I mean, obviously this is why you get paid the big bucks. Is like the fine tuning of sounds like these, but like when you're doing like little micro adjustments here and there, like how did you know when you finally had the right chunk?
I don't know if I do. We try our best. It is literally taken away from you. There isn't a point where you go, I'm perfect, this thing is perfect. It's just at some point you run out of time. We could be working on it forever. We could endlessly tweak those things.
Excellent. So one of the things about this is that Arkham City for this year is the Batman event for the year, and there's a lot of other stuff that's sort of feeding into it and tying off. It's the movie in previous years. This year is the game. You've got the Arkham City comic book, which tells the story of what happened between Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. You've got the action figures from DC Direct. You've got various things from Warner Brothers Consumer Products. The Batman Year One DVD, which comes out the same day as the game.
Yeah!
Make sure you get both. And representing one of the more unique tie aspects is Batman Arkham City, the album, which is available now already. Claudio, Sanchez. So thank you. So my first question to you was about sort of being a fan as a player. What was it being a fan and working on the game? How did you approach it?
Well, you know, when Blaze, my manager, had contacted me and said that there was this opportunity to create a song for the soundtrack, I mean, I jumped on it immediately. My wife and I were actually taking a trip into Manhattan, and I was like, I don't want to waste any time like working on this. Like, this means a lot to me. It's my chance to kind of write essentially a story, you know, about the character, and the song's premise is really about that kind of duality between the Joker and Batman. And so with my wife driving into the city, I grabbed a few gadgets, an iPad and an iPhone, and kind of plugged them into the car stereo, and I started to work on this tune. And just thinking about all the elements, you said the chunk and all the sounds and all that stuff. I mean, even that stuff I tried to emulate within the music of the band. You know, like the guitar part at the front of the song is very much like a ticking time bomb. What chunks at the end of the chorus very much emulate the cape of Batman. Even if you listen really hard, like in the chorus, there's this fluttering tremolo that almost kind of resembles like a pack of bats flying at you. I mean, just everything. I mean, I was so excited that I had the song done in about a day and a half. You had said earlier, and I took pre-existing footage of the game and created a trailer out of it to make sure that though I knew ultimately it wouldn't be in the game, that a listener and a fan of the game could kind of draw that imagery into their mind as they listen to the song. for me, again, I love Batman. I also think there's no other rogues gallery that you're saying that matches his. And with the song Deranged, I wanted to explore the idea of a lonely existence for Batman should he lose that rogues gallery. And I don't know, I explored it coming from the Joker's perspective, and I just had so much fun with it. Like I don't know, I mean, I write in a very conceptual manner when it comes to my band, but to be allowed to do something like this, I mean, I got to pay tribute and respect to a character that I grew up with, and like has always been there. Even, oh, I'm gonna cry. Why am I gonna cry? Just earlier, we were in the back waiting room, and Frank Miller was in there. And this was actually a battle I'm having with myself right now as I'm answering these questions. Like, why didn't you say hello? I don't know why I didn't say hello. I'm scared of everything.
Pro hug, man, pro hug. One last question before we open it up to questions for the audience. If each of the panelists, maybe we'll start with you, Sefton, and work our way to the right. But which of the villains from the Rogues Gallery would you say that you relate to the most and why? I think one of the... One question. Thanks.
Well, Two-Face for me, I think.
Two-Face, yeah, I mean, that makes sense, doesn't it? I think for me, the one that we had most fun with in a lot of ways was Riddler, because it was something that we just really had to Excellent. I mean, Kevin, are you allowed to relate to any of them?
I think the one I relate to the best, obviously, would be Joker, just because the relationship that I've had with Mark Hamill. You have to give it up for Mark. He's a wonderful actor.
Yeah!
And, we've both been involved in it for 20 years. So, we have such a relationship. And like you were saying, there's sort of a symbiotic relationship with Batman. They do sort of need each other to exist, in a way. So,
excellent. Claudio?
I like my characters, like, methodical and structured, and I said the Calendar Man earlier. I think the Calendar Man, just because, I don't know, there's something about understanding dates and time that, in a way, because that whole idea of history repeats itself. Like, if you understand someone's past, you might kind of see their future. If that makes any sense? Like, I feel like you can have a one-up if written the right way. Though I love the way he was portrayed in Long Halloween. I can't wait to see how you guys got him, because I saw him in that trailer. I was like, woo!
Ric Flair.
Oh my God.
And Riddler as well. I mean, life poses like one tremendous question, and here's this character that's all he does. And, that's just perplexing in itself, to have to go, try to solve a mystery and yet question after question. I mean, that would drive me insane.
Excellent. Let's get a couple of questions from the audience. If audience members could line up behind them. Maybe bring up the house lights a bit.